Welcome to another episode of Explained by AI. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of cryptocurrency,
Okay.
specifically Ripple and its XRP token.
Okay.
It's one that is loved by some
Yeah,
and hated by others. So
absolutely.
we're going to try to figure out what the real story is here.
Let's do it.
We're going to destroy Ripple,
Okay.
figuratively speaking, of
Yes,
course.
figuratively.
So, how is Ripple supposed to work?
Well, Ripple aims to revolutionize the way we do cross-border payments.
Okay.
So you know how SWIFT is the traditional system?
Yeah.
They want to make it faster, cheaper, more efficient.
Okay.
And they do that by using their digital token XRP as a bridge between different currencies.
Okay.
So imagine if you wanted to send US dollars to someone in Europe who needs euros.
Yeah.
XRP would smooth out that conversion and transfer.
Interesting.
Eliminate all those hefty fees.
Sounds pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah, it does.
But there's a catch, right?
There's always a catch.
Ripple is often called the banker's crypto because it's centralized.
It's like,
Is it truly a cryptocurrency if it's controlled by a single company, Ripple Labs?
right, and that goes against the very essence of decentralization that Bitcoin and Ethereum champion.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
this centralization is a major sticking point for a lot of people.
it's a big one for sure.
I mean, true cryptocurrencies are supposed to be decentralized and transparent
Yeah,
and resistant to manipulation.
exactly, you said it.
Ripple kind of deviates from all of those.
Yeah, it deviates quite a bit.
And then there's the elephant in the room, the SEC lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
What happened back in December of 2020?
Well, the SEC accused Ripple of selling XRP as an unregistered security.
Okay.
So they're arguing that it should be regulated like stocks and bonds.
Interesting.
And Ripple, of course, denies this vehemently.
Yeah.
They say XRP is a currency, not a security.
Yeah,
And this legal battle has massive implications for the entire crypto industry.
I can imagine.
It could set a precedent for how all cryptocurrencies are regulated in the future.
Wow, so that's a lot of uncertainty hanging over Ripple.
A lot of uncertainty.
But even beyond the legal battles, there's a lot of ethical concerns about their operations.
Yeah,
Especially their control over XRP.
right.
And how that benefits their executives.
Well, critics point to the fact that Ripple Labs owns a vast majority of XRP tokens,
Okay.
and they release portions of it periodically, potentially manipulating the supply and price.
Oh, wow.
Imagine if they created artificial scarcity to inflate XRP's value,
Yeah.
all while retail investors are facing the risks.
Doesn't seem very fair.
It doesn't, does it?
So it fuels this narrative that Ripple prioritizes self-enrichment over a genuinely decentralized financial system,
Right.
especially considering the allegations that executives like Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson profited from XRP sales, while retail investors shouldered the burden.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look. And also their payment solution, RippleNet.
Yes.
It functions without XRP.
That's right.
So why even have the token if
Oh.
banks can just use traditional currencies?
It's a question a lot of people are asking.
So we've got centralization concerns, the SEC lawsuit, allegations of price manipulation, and questions about XRP's necessity.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's no wonder Ripple is such a controversial topic.
It's a lightning rod for sure.
But, to be fair, we have to look at both sides.
Of course.
Their technology does offer some undeniable advantages, right?
It does. XRP transactions are undeniably fast and inexpensive.
Okay.
They settle in seconds with minimal fees.
So compared to the traditional cross-border payment systems, that's a huge
A
improvement.
huge improvement.
And they're also more eco-friendly than other cryptos like Bitcoin,
Much more.
which is a big plus.
Definitely.
Now, some argue that this whole SEC lawsuit is a bit of an overreach.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They're stifling innovation in the crypto space.
Some people believe that the SEC is applying outdated regulations designed for traditional securities to a
Wow.
rapidly evolving technology.
Like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
potentially harming the U.S. economy by pushing crypto innovation overseas.
That would be bad.
Yeah, imagine the chilling effect on the entire industry if Ripple loses.
Yeah.
Companies might hesitate to invest in or develop cryptocurrency projects in the U.S.,
Right.
hindering the advancement of blockchain technology and its potential across various industries.
So it really highlights the need for clearer regulations that are tailored to cryptocurrency's unique nature.
Absolutely. We need a framework that makes sense.
But even some Ripple critics acknowledge that the current regulatory landscape is ambiguous at best.
It's the Wild West out there.
It's new technology outpacing existing legal frameworks, and until that gap is bridged, we're going to continue to have this confusion and conflict.
It's inevitable.
So we've covered Ripple's origins,
Yes.
their technology, and some of the challenges they're facing.
The challenges are many.
Now let's get into the accusations of price manipulation surrounding XRP.
Let's do it.
What are people alleging here?
Well, so Ripple Labs owns a lot of XRP tokens, right?
Right.
And that gives them control over the supply.
Okay.
And some argue they manipulate that supply to inflate the price.
How so?
So they do strategic token releases that coincide with high demand or positive news.
Okay.
And that creates artificial scarcity and drives up prices.
So they're kind of playing the stock market, but with their own cryptocurrency.
Exactly. It's a bit like that.
And then there are accusations of buybacks as well.
Yes, where they use their own funds to purchase XRP tokens,
Oh, wow.
reducing the circulation and boosting prices.
So it's all about creating that artificial demand.
Right. And then there's the potential manipulation through partnerships and PR.
How does that work?
Well, they announce partnerships with banks and financial institutions.
Yeah.
That generates hype and positive sentiment that leads to a surge in XRP's price.
So they're creating this buying frenzy
A little bit, yeah.
using positive press and potentially misleading partnerships.
Some might say that.
The MoneyGram partnership comes to mind,
Oh, yeah, that one.
which dissolved right after the SEC lawsuit.
Didn't it?
That raises a lot of questions about Ripple's true intentions.
It does.
I mean, they paid MoneyGram millions of dollars to use XRP,
Millions.
only for it to crumble after the SEC intervened.
Suspicious.
It suggests that maybe the focus was more on creating a facade of success
Right.
than actually integrating XRP into the global financial system.
And it fueled a lot of skepticism about Ripple's commitment to XRP's actual value.
Yeah, so it's not just the centralization, it's also this alleged market manipulation and these questionable partnerships
Yeah, it all adds up
that are raising concerns.
for sure.
It's a pretty bleak picture we've painted so far.
It is a bit, isn't it?
But let's look at some of the arguments in Ripple's favor
Okay, let's do
that
it.
we haven't really touched upon yet.
Sounds good.
One argument that comes up is that the SEC is overstepping its boundaries and hindering innovation,
Yeah.
stifling innovation in the crypto space.
It's a common argument from crypto advocates. They believe the SEC is applying these outdated regulations
Right.
to a new and evolving technology like cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and they say that this heavy-handed approach could push crypto innovation overseas,
Absolutely.
harming the U.S. economy.
And the fear is that if Ripple loses,
Yeah.
it could have a chilling effect on the entire crypto industry in the U.S.,
Wow.
create uncertainty and discourage investment in cryptocurrency projects.
So it's kind of like the classic case of new technology outpacing the legal framework.
Exactly.
It leads to all this confusion and conflict until the laws catch up.
It's inevitable.
But this argument for clear regulations,
Yeah,
it's something that even some Ripple critics acknowledge.
that's right.
They may disagree with Ripple's approach,
Sure.
but they recognize that there needs to be a more defined regulatory landscape.
It's a common ground.
So the SEC lawsuit and its implications for the industry are significant.
Huge.
Another argument in Ripple's favor is that
Yeah.
despite all the controversy,
Uh-huh.
their technology does deliver.
It does.
You mean in terms of speed and efficiency?
Yes, XRP transactions are demonstrably fast and cheap.
And their network has proven reliable,
It has.
scalable.
Yes, very much so.
So these are all strong selling points
They are.
if their technology delivers on its promises.
And they're making a big deal about their partnerships with established financial institutions.
Right.
They want to show that their technology is being embraced by businesses worldwide.
Okay.
They've secured collaborations with banks and payment providers, demonstrating that they can integrate into existing financial infrastructure.
So it seems like they're actively working to expand their global reach,
They are.
especially in regions like Asia and the Middle East,
Yeah,
where cross-border transactions are really important.
especially.
So this focus on emerging markets seems pretty strategic.
It is.
These regions often have a much higher demand for efficient and cost-effective payment solutions.
Makes sense.
And it suggests a long-term vision for XRP
For sure.
for its role in facilitating global commerce and financial inclusion.
Absolutely.
So even with all this regulatory uncertainty they're pushing forward, it shows a certain level of confidence in their technology.
They're betting on the idea that in the long run,
Okay.
the benefits of their technology will outweigh the controversies and challenges they're facing.
It's a bold gamble.
It is.
Whether it pays off remains to be seen.
Only time will tell.
We've really delved into the arguments for and against Ripple,
We have.
highlighted their strengths and weaknesses.
All sides.
It's clear that they have a lot to prove,
They do.
but they also have a very loyal following
A lot of believers.
and a technology with undeniable potential.
For sure.
Ripple's story is far from over.
Not even close.
Their future hinges on several factors,
Right.
including the outcome of that SEC lawsuit
The big one.
and their ability to adapt to this evolving crypto landscape.
It's constantly changing.
It's a fascinating case study.
It is.
It really underscores the complexities of navigating innovation in such a rapidly changing world.
The world of cryptocurrency is wild.
It's always evolving, and Ripple's journey
Yeah.
really exemplifies the challenges
A lot of them.
and the opportunities that come with pushing these technological boundaries.
It's a high-risk, high-reward game.
So for anyone who's intrigued by Ripple,
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway here
Yeah.
is approach it with informed skepticism.
Don't just jump in blindly.
Do your own research.
Due diligence is key.
Weigh the risks and the potential rewards.
Understand what you're getting into.
And make decisions that align with your understanding of the technology.
And its implications.
We've tried to provide you with the knowledge and context
the tools you need.
to form your own informed opinions about Ripple
Exactly.
and its place in the future of finance.
The future is uncertain.
Remember, the crypto world is full of surprises,
Always.
and Ripple is just one piece of a much larger
Right.
and constantly evolving puzzle.
That's a good way to put it.
We talked about Ripple's claims about their tech working well and
Right.
partnerships
Yeah.
showing adoption.
Right.
But that centralized nature
Yeah.
is still a concern for a lot of people.
It is.
How do they kind of square that circle,
Right.
that centralized control, with the whole idea of cryptocurrency being decentralized?
Well, it's a question that they've struggled to answer
Yeah.
convincingly, I think.
Yeah.
They argue that their approach, being centralized,
Right.
allows for greater efficiency and scalability,
Okay.
which is really important when you're trying to do these real-time global payments.
Makes sense.
And they also say that they're trying to decentralize
Okay.
aspects of their network over time.
Right.
But critics say that, it's not enough.
Right.
Ripple Labs still has way too much control over that XRP ledger.
So it's really this tension between centralization and decentralization.
It's the core of the debate.
That's at the heart of the whole Ripple issue.
Right. And their supporters, they believe that you need some level of centralization
Okay.
if you want to achieve mainstream adoption
Yeah.
and really disrupt that traditional financial system.
They want to play in the big leagues.
They do.
They got to play by some of the rules.
Right.
But the critics say
Mhm.
that you're compromising the whole principle of cryptocurrency,
The whole point.
which is supposed to be about empowering individuals,
Right.
removing control from these centralized institutions.
It's supposed to be the Wild West.
Yeah, it's a very complex issue.
It is.
Valid arguments on both sides.
For sure.
Ultimately, the market will decide
The market always decides
if Ripple's approach is sustainable.
in the long run.
So, looking ahead,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that are going to determine whether Ripple sinks or swims?
Well, the outcome of the SEC lawsuit is a big one.
Huge.
If they lose, that could really limit
Okay.
their ability to operate in the U.S.
Right.
and potentially damage their reputation globally.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But even if they win,
All right.
they still have a lot of challenges.
Like what?
Well, they've got competition from other blockchain-based payment solutions,
Okay. Yeah.
and they still have to address those concerns about their centralized control.
And then there's the regulators in other countries, too,
Oh, yeah.
that are starting to take notice.
The global regulatory landscape for crypto is constantly evolving.
So navigating that's going to be crucial for them.
It's a tightrope walk.
They're going to have to demonstrate that they're willing to comply with these evolving regulations.
Right.
But at the same time, advocate for a regulatory environment that fosters innovation.
Allows for growth.
It's a tough balancing act.
It is,
One that requires a lot of careful strategy and execution.
for sure.
So besides the regulatory challenges, what other obstacles are out there for Ripple?
Well, one of the big ones is the perception
Yeah.
that XRP isn't really essential
Cool.
to Ripple's business model.
We touched on this a little bit before.
We did.
A lot of banks and financial institutions are using RippleNet,
Yeah.
but they're not using XRP.
Right.
So it raises the question of
The value.
what's the long-term value of this token?
Right. Is it just a speculative asset?
Yeah. Can it really sustain its current market cap?
Big questions.
So they need to make a better argument
They do.
for why XRP is so important,
Right.
why it's integral to their ecosystem,
And why its adoption is going to benefit users and investors.
not just hype.
Real value.
So the future of Ripple is uncertain.
Very much so.
Big challenges.
Yeah,
Big opportunities.
definitely.
They've developed this innovative technology.
Game changer.
It really could disrupt the global financial system.
It could.
But they've also made some decisions that have alienated people in the crypto community
Not everyone's a fan.
and brought on a lot of scrutiny from regulators.
They're under the microscope.
So can they overcome all of these challenges,
Good question.
achieve their ambitious goals?
It all comes down to their ability to adapt, innovate, and build trust.
With users and with regulators.
Both.
It's a story that's still being written
Unfolding.
and one that we'll continue to watch very closely.
Front row seats.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Ripple.
It's been a pleasure.
It's a complicated story.
It is.
No easy answers.
Yep.
But hopefully you've gained a better understanding of the company, their technology,
Their vision.
the challenges they face.
These opportunities.
Do you have any topic that you'd like to have explained?
Drop it in the comments.